today is gonna be both a SIDbox and an Amiga day. It's so good seeing my SIDbox again. It's been a while and it has been away. Let's get my Easter egg up, which Wayne put for me right at the beginning. There we go. He put this in when we've been first joined the SIDbox team about 2 years ago, and we were bug fixing and sorting out the firmwares and everything, so he decided to do this, which is really nice. Now you will notice that my SIDbox looks a little different. And that is because it's got a new case, and I'm still yet to paint this case back to the blue which I had before, because I just like that. But I do like this as well, the colors and the cases, the new cases. The new case feels much more sturdier, I have to say. Though the plastics company has been contacted. Wayne actually just came back today. It's not just had a new case, but also an upgrade. That's why I sent it in the first place. You know, there's a new CPU from Microchip, and also there's double the ROM space. So yeah, we've gone crazy, you know, putting in more features and thinking up of more stuff. So yeah, it's been pretty good and great teamwork. There's a lot of exciting things happening, by the way. Now, just when you thought the SIDbox was done and, you know, with the Kickstarter around the corner, didn't expect ourselves to put more features in this thing. You know, it's like, and major features too. We just expected it to like, okay, it does what it does now. Let's start the Kickstarter. The non-plastics company took ages, so we changed. But that was a blessing in disguise. The delay is definitely a blessing. Now here we have my gorgeous Yamaha Reface DX. And it is absolutely gorgeous. If you have not seen the two-part video, I will link in the description below. It's quite a treat because this thing is amazing. I still love it to this day. So let's sample some sounds from it for the Amiga using the SIDbox. Now this here is a breakout cable which gives you an audio in jack and also a charging port here. So all we do, connect the output of the Reface into the input of the SIDbox, and the output of the SIDbox here to my external speakers. And of course turn on the SIDbox. And you will notice the settings page here having way more settings now because there's so much to it now. So you hit launch sampler here. And then you come into a nice Audio Master 4-esque interface, sampler interface, which is intentional because, well, Audio Master 4 was something I messed around a lot in my childhood. Now before sampler, you can go into the monitor here and start hearing. So you see here monitoring. So we just press sample. Comes up with a very nice and clever display. I really like this display, the flowy one. It's that easy. So basically this is just mobile. You can take it anywhere and sample whatever, connect it up to anything and sample whatever you wish. And it saves as Amiga IFF, as an 8SVX file format. Now everything that I have sampled has been saved into a special folder on this SD card. So yeah, all I need to do is just connect the SD card into my computer and then just copy across the files to the Amiga. So you can load it into your Amiga straight away. And let's get the beautiful Amiga 500 out. I absolutely love this machine. I don't care what anyone says about it. It is, of course, the Amiga 1200 is my favorite, but this comes a close second because this is, you know, the one which gives me the warmth in my heart, you know. So yeah, let's load up the music software in here and connect the sampling cartridge also. So I have my wonderful stock Amiga 500 connected and wired up and ready to load music making utilities. Get the sample disc out as well. Okay, so let's load Audio Master 4 for those of you who have not seen. This is what I used to mess with so much when I was younger. Okay, let's go in a sampler. And we need to connect. So I've just noticed here that the frequencies are a bit screwy. I mean, this is by default set at 44.1 kilohertz. The Amiga, well, at least Soundtracker Pro 2, you know, tends to deal with samples around 8,272 hertz. That is not kilohertz. That's a lot. So I'm gonna trample on the sample at this frequency now. Instead of, you know, because I just got everything confused. So I've set it to 8272. So I'm going to transfer that sample onto the Amiga and test it in Soundtracker Pro 2. So Soundtracker Pro 2 works at around about 8,272 hertz. You know, the sample rate. It just depends on what you're using. Different applications or different programs will use different sample rates. Like Audio Master there, you can load up different sample rates higher than this. So for me, I'm gonna have to set the sample rate to 8272 hertz every time I do a sampling session if I want to use them with Soundtracker Pro 2. The same with something like Audio Master here. You'd have to set the sample rate right, you know, or else it'll just play wrong in Soundtracker Pro 2 or whatever other program. You know, it's not strictly an Amiga sample rate. Amiga can handle, you know, way more. It just depends on what the creator of the program has set the sample rate to, which I'm not sure why it's so low, but I guess that's what universally all mod formats use. Again, I don't know why they've set it so low. I guess to save memory. In that case, they could have, you know, added a high sample rate or low sample rate mode. You know what I mean? It just goes to show that the bottleneck on the Amiga was the RAM and also these freaking things. I mean, RAM can be upgraded and so forth, but these things, you know, the storage was quite a bottleneck. I mean, the Amiga is capable of so much more had it had the storage capacity to kind of distribute games with music at a higher sample rate. So let's compare some sounds. Let's do some sampling on here first. Like sample like two or three samples, and then the same samples on the Amiga itself. That's so cool, I like that. Okay, save that. So let's sample these three same sounds using the Amiga and just compare, see how it is. Okay, so let's sample this time using Soundtracker Pro 2. Okay, sounds nasty there. Let's do it. Cut. Normally I normalize the actual waveform, but this I just want to compare them direct. The output on this is pretty quiet. Actually, this could do with a line out as well as a headphone out, because you know the impedance is all probably freaking wrong. So what I'm going to do now is take the samples from here and put them onto this floppy disk and play them back for you. Okay, I'm back, so I just transferred from the SIDbox to the floppy. Everyone can see the files here now from the SIDbox. First time actually comparing them. SIDbox tends to just add a loop there, which you can just, you know, delete. It's no problem. Only thing with the SIDbox is you cannot edit on it, but it's fine. You know, just you can bring it on the Amiga and just edit it here, like this. The good thing about the SIDbox is that it DC adjusts automatically. Wayne is, you know, programmed it to do that. Okay, so I've loaded them all in, and it's interesting result. The Amiga ones, it's the Amiga one, SIDbox one. Sounds sharper. It also doesn't help that, you know, the impedance isn't right, and you know it doesn't give out enough of the volumes on maxed out. So yeah, it just doesn't give out enough for the sampler. You could reduce a lot of noise if the source is higher. Even that had, you know, the Amiga itself had a lot of noise because the source wasn't loud enough. So when you try and make it loud afterwards, you louden the noise along with it. What I need to do is the actual sample rate, instead of like sampling it low, I can sample it at like 33 kilohertz, you know, something like this. And then it'll appear as low. So all I need to do is just upsample it, you know, on Soundtracker Pro, and then you'll be fine. The pitch and everything, the octave will be right then. So let's do these samples again at 33 kilohertz rather than 8 kilohertz. So while we're here, let's sample from a louder source. Okay, so I have one of my Minidisc recorders here. What I'm going to do is connect it via the headphone out, show you, because the headphone port, you can actually change it to line out or headphone. You can select it in the menu here. So, first of all, listen to it as a headphone out. It's absolutely terrible. You hear all that noise? Now let's change this to a line out instead of a headphone out. Instantly. The levels are better, the noise is gone. Let's sample this. It's so cool. That sounds good, actually. Now let's save this. Okay, so I'm back here with the samples and let's check them out. Now, of course, the file size is going to be huge, but the thing is, once you upsample it and save it again, then it won't be so bad. You know, it'll just be like normal then. This process will also be much quicker when you do it on a hard drive or SD. You notice the octave is low, so if you go into sound and then change that to, let's just see it first. Here we go. Then all you do is just resample. Here we go. Actually, there seems to be more definition in the SIDbox one. I mean, it's a bit higher pitched. I can just take that down a bit. This sounds more natural. This sounds like there's pieces of it missing. Okay, a little something about sample rate. When you are sampling something, then, you know, what it does, it takes samples, small samples of the waveform of what you're putting into the Amiga or whatever else. It's kind of like frames in video. When you see a low frame rate, you see a jittery, right? So it's kind of like a low sample rate will be, it won't sound as good. So a high sample rate takes more of these samples, more frames, if you know what I mean. And that's more information saved. This may sound like, you can hear towards the end. It sounds smoother towards the end. And that's actually a bit of an advantage the SIDbox has, simply because on the Amiga, depending on the tracker program, it won't give you the option to sample at a higher rate and then upsample it, if you know what I mean. you know, you'd have to use something like Audio Master or something like this. But the advantage that SIDbox has, you can sample at a high rate and then, you know, tweak it when you load it into here. So clearly you can tell it's slow. So I'm gonna click on that and on the keyboard click with 4, but this time I'm gonna like, that's the pitch, right? Higher pitch, pitch adjustment, fine pitch adjustment. Now let's load the Lotus one and see how that sounds. I had to put that in a separate disk because it was like 500k. It's like just over half of a floppy disk worth. Right, so you'll notice here that it's very slow. Okay, so if you were to put it up and resample it like this, I don't think I'm going to resample this, I'm just going to... I mean, that's a good freaking sample. I have to say, you know, it's pretty clear. So there we go. SIDbox as a portable Amiga sampler. So thanks so much for your likes, your shares. Do leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my other videos and do subscribe for more. And don't forget to hit that bell icon, or else you won't be notified of new videos. For now, I will say adios.